this season, and his 397 passing yards against Seattle was the third most of his career. So, Shannon, can you make a case that this Patriots team is actually better off with Cam over Tom Brady?
Well, given where they are right now, I would say yes. I don't think there's any question that Cam has through the first two games, has looked better than Tom Brady has. The Patriots fans are not going to forget about Tom Brady, Skip. The guy won 6 Super Bowls. He won 3 MVPs. Peyton Manning didn't make Denver fans forget about John Elway. He won an MVP and a Super Bowl, and he took them to another. And they didn't forget about John Elway. So Cam Newton is not going to make the Patriots fans forget about Tom Brady. But I do believe, because, Skip, maybe it's because N'Keal Harry is in his second year. Second year in this offense, knows the system, he's healthy, and maybe he gravitates a little more to Cam's style of leadership than maybe Tom's. Julian Edelman, Cam can get out of harm's way, keep plays alive. Tom normally had to stay on script. That's what he was. He was as good as we've ever seen going by the script.
Yep.
Cam can get off script. This is fact. Julian Edelman has never had a receiving day like he had Sunday with Tom Brady. And for whatever reason, Cam is getting more out of those receivers than what Tom Brady got last year. Now, I don't, Skip, there could be a lot of, maybe Julian is more healthy this year than he was last year. N'Keal Harry, he started the season, Skip, he was on IR, so maybe he's healthy. Maybe he has a better grasp of the playbook. Whatever the case may be, this is what we know. These guys are playing better this year than what they played last year for Tom Brady. There could be injury, could be a factor, knowing the playbook when it comes to N'Keal Harry. Skip, Demarius Byrd making plays. I mean, like you said, only thing Bill Belichick did this offseason was get little Demarius Byrd from Arizona.
From Arizona.
And
he's like their 5th receiver.
And he's out there playing. He's out there making plays for him. So Cam is played unbelievable. He shocked a lot of people with how well he's playing. And at the end of the season, if he can keep this going, he will be able to look back and say, I told you so. And a lot of people, and there's going to be a lot of owners looking at their general managers like, we could have had that guy for like $1 million or $2 million, and we stuck with this, and they're there, and we're here.
Yep.
So for me, Skip, maybe it's injury, maybe it's the knowledge of the playbook, but these guys are playing better with Cam than they played with Tom last year.
So far.
Great. So far.
So I do not want to take an ounce away from what Cam Newton has pulled off his first 2 games in New England, because the pressure is extraordinary.
Yep.
And I told you, I can count on one hand the humans who could have stood up to that pressure, and you'd have to go to Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
That's what you'd have to do.
Yeah.
This is replacing the GOAT, opening day in Foxborough against a division rival, albeit Miami, but it's still... The pressure is, it's incomprehensible. But Cam Newton, yeah, he knows pressure.
Yep.
He was competing with Tim Tebow at Florida for that job. And then he went to Blinn Junior College, and all he did was win the national championship. And he goes to Auburn, and all he did was win the national championship and the Heisman Trophy. Yep. And then all he did in Carolina was he won the MVP 5 years ago.
Yep.
It's just hard to win an MVP, and it's hard to get a team to the Super Bowl, and he did that.
Yep.
Didn't play great in the Super Bowl, but it was just because Denver played a lot better.
Correct.
That was it. It was Von Miller's day, not Cam Newton's day. Okay, so what he did against the Dolphins, extraordinary to me. He was really good. He didn't throw it much, but he ran it great. He looked healthier than he's looked in about, well, since the MVP year, to me. And then he goes to Seattle on a Sunday night, albeit in an empty, what is it? Is it still Century Link?
Yeah, Century Link.
Okay, so it's empty. No 12th man. But he puts on the show of shows on Sunday Night Football. That's the best I've seen him throw the football since his first year in the league. Now, I'll eclipse the MVP year.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the first couple of, he had 3 games in his first 4 in this league in which he threw it that way. And he threw for 422 at Arizona and 432 back home against Aaron Rodgers in Carolina. And then the 4th game of the year, he went to Chicago, and it was 379. And we're all thinking, what have we wrought here? like this guy is going to throw this league for a loop. And then That was it.
Right.
He never really got close to those kind of numbers again.
Until
he started,
Sunday.
Yeah, until Sunday. And he started to run with it more because he can.
Right.
And we talked about how he, quote unquote, died for the cause in Carolina, and I believe he did.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, you want to talk about heaping pressure on him? After 2 games, are you ready to say he's better than Brady was last year? Because that is a mouthful.
No. It's way too early. You still got 14 games to go.
Okay, you got 14 games. So I want to tell you how high the bar was set last year. And again, you have argued with this, but I'm going to plant my flag on this one more time. All Tom Brady did last year with diminishing talent, really on both sides of the ball, was he helped lift that team to the 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
On the final day of the year, they're playing Fitzmagic at home, and the Dolphins are starting to heat up. They're starting to be dangerous. And obviously, the coach of the Dolphins used to coach for Belichick, and they come in there ready to play and know what's going to hit them between the eyes.
Right.
So it was a battle. And Tom Brady, over about a 4-minute stretch of the fourth quarter, did what he's always done. And he drove that team 60 yards in 8 plays for the touchdown that put them ahead 24-20.
Mm-hmm.
And he completed 4 out of 5 passes. And I'm not saying they're great passes, but I think we still have them. You can see what he did. This is Tom Brady. This is what he always does, game-winning drives. So the first one's just a little one to James White, and then the second one's to Ben Watson, just a little one, but he's moving the chains. Now, the third one's more of a rifle shot to Sanu, who failed this year to even make the squad. But that's Sanu for 22. And then here goes James White again, one of his favorite targets. And it's just a little screen, a little middle screen for a touchdown. So he did what he always does. And you say, that looked pretty effortless. That's just who he is.
Right.
And as you say, on script, he stayed right on script.
Right.
He held the ball a little while on the Sanu route, but he let him get behind the zone and he hit him.
Yep.
Okay. So the point is, now with 3 minutes left, they got the 2 seed. And Belichick's defense could not stop Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm doing golf still.
Yeah.
But Ryan Fitzpatrick turned back into Fitzmagic, and he goes 75 yards in 13 plays, and he hits Gesicki with a 5-yard touchdown pass to win the game, 27-24. They didn't just need a field goal. They needed this. They needed a touchdown, and they lost the 2 seed, and they lost a week off. And the team is battered, and they needed a week off because their psyche was battered. But my point is, Tom Brady did his part. He did his job, as Belichick says, to get them to the 2 seed. Can Cam lift this team to the 2 seed? Because that's the bar that he set last year.
I think the thing is what Cam does for this offense, Skip, is that he opens up the playbook more. He's more of a threat, and so now you have to count. You never had to look. Tom's going to be 7 to 8 yards behind the center. That's where you can find him. You don't need to look for him, Skip.
Yep.
You can find him there. Cam Newton, there's no telling. He might start there, but then the next thing you know, he might be 20 yards down the field. And that's something you never had to worry about with Tom. And so I think it forces your defense to be very disciplined, because you get out of position, Cam can gash you for a 20-yard run, but he also can buy time and throw the ball over the top of your head. So early on right now, guys seem to be playing better. The question is, as you said, can they keep this up for another 14 games?
Can he avoid getting beat up?
Right.
Because it's just hard.
Yeah.
You're just taking a lot of pounding, and he's going to have to take some pounding because it's who he is.
And plus, Skip, he's got 28 rush attempts.